Welcome. This is Pizada Rashid here. This video is about for loop in C Sharp. Before you start, I want you to open up this URL. Whatever code examples I use in this video are written step by step here. Code examples have a link to quickly test it. And see the results in an online editor without writing a single word. I will also leave all the links at the end and in the description of this video. Let's get started. For loop executes a block of code repeatedly until the condition is false. Actually, this type of loop is useful when the number of loop iterations is fixed, or you can say predetermined. And the counter variable that determines the iterations is needed in the loop, like how many times the loop executed. Now this is the basic structure of a loop. Please pay attention. For loop starts with the for keyword, followed by three expressions, separated by semicolons, within these parentheses. The first parameter declares and initializes a counter variable before the loop executes, and is always evaluated once at the start. It's called initializer. The second parameter is a condition, a Boolean expression that returns true or false, and is evaluated before each new iteration of the loop. This must be true in order for the next iteration to be performed. The iterations end when the condition is false. The third parameter is an iterator, which prepares the loop for next iteration. This is incremented after each iteration at the bottom of the loop. Statements are the block of code that you want to execute multiple times in a loop. Let me show you the execution order of a loop. First of all, variable declared and assigned initial value at this stage. Then the condition is checked. If it's true, the body will execute. Here variable value is incremented. This whole process repeats again except number 1, because variable is initialized only once at the beginning. Loop ends when the number 2 returns false. This is the structure of a nested for loop. A loop within another loop is a nested loop. The innermost loop executes more time than the outermost. There is no limitation on the number of loops into each other. That means you can combine different type of loops in your program. Let me quickly code for loop, then I explain it to you. This loop writes out all the integers from 0 to 4. Well, this loop consists of three expressions, 1, 2, and 3. This is the initialization part. When the loop begins, C# initializes the counter variable I with the int type and assigns an initial value of 1. A Boolean expression I less than equal to 4, which returns true or false, will repeatedly execute until the counter, which is this, is less than or equal to 4. This is the expression for updating the counter, which adds 1 at the end of each repetition of the loop. This increases the counter variable by 1. Click Run. See the output here. If you have more than one statement within the loop, you must enclose the statements in opening and closing braces like this. Break keyword exit a loop prematurely before it has completed the execution. The loop's body is skipped and the control is passed to the first expression immediately following the loop. Let me show you. Click Run. Notice that the loop ends prematurely at break statement when the counter reaches 3. And this condition becomes 3 equal to 3, which evaluates to true. Without the break keyword, the loop should run from 1 to 4. This break keyword then causes the loop to exit and resumes execution immediately after the loop. You can see the result here. Skip the value 3 and 4. Another commonly used jump statement is the continue keyword. When the loop hits continue, the rest of the current iteration is skipped and immediately initiates the execution of the next iteration. Let's change this with the continue keyword. Click Run. First, we initialize the counter variable to run from 1 to 4. When the counter reaches 3, this condition evaluates to true because 3 is equal to 3. This causes for loop to skip rest of the current iteration and initiates the execution of the next iteration. You can see the result here. Number 3 is skipped. Let's see how nested loops look like. Let me explain it to you. After initialization of the first for loop, the execution of its body will start, which contains the second for loop. Here, initialization of the first for loop means I variable is initialized with the value 1. And then I less than equal to 4 condition is checked, meaning 1 is less than equal to 4. This expression is true, as you can see 1 is less than 4. Now the inner loop will be initialized, meaning j is initialized to 1. Condition will be checked, which is j is less than equal to 2, meaning 1 is less than equal to 2. And then the code within its body will execute. Then the j variable will be updated and execution will continue until the condition returns false. That means when j is equal to 3. After that, the second iteration of the first for loop will continue. Its variable will be updated. Now I will be 2. And the whole second loop will be performed once again. This inner loop will fully execute as many times as the body of the outer loop. Meaning with each iteration of the outer loop, the inner loop iterates 2 times because of this value. If I change it to 3, then the inner loop iterates 3 times. This statement will print out the value of I and j. I is the variable of outer loop and j is the variable of inner loop. Click Run. This is the value of I and this one is j. Whenever you don't provide a condition to the loop, it automatically becomes an infinite loop, meaning the loop block executes endlessly. Use the double semicolon in the for loop to make it run infinite times. Let me show you how. This loop will run infinite times. Unfortunately, This editor don't allow infinite looping, so try to use Visual Studio Code or another editor. Okay, let me try VS Code. Remember, to stop the infinite loop, press Ctrl C on the keyboard.